Hello all. So this session is exclusive anthropology current affairs, which will be helpful for Mains 2024 basically, and as well as Mains 2025 also, but exclusively for Mains 2024. So what are the topics where you have to use it as an examples? Number one, we know that interlinking of rivers is one of the most important strategic project of the government of India. Integrating the rivers, that particular integrating of rivers is under the program called as Ken-Betwa interlinking of rivers, whereby the Ken belongs to Madhya Pradesh and the Betwa belongs to Uttar Pradesh. The both rivers will be integrated together under the Ken-Betwa river linking project. Under this particular interlinking of projects is a national perspective plan, very important plan, so that the water where its surplus want to pump the water into the drought prone river like Betwa. From Ken, the excessive water will go into the Betwa. In that way, we are going to interlink both rivers. Here, the tiger reserve whereby which is in this process of interlinking, one tiger reserve which is Panna tiger reserve is getting impacted, and there is another dam which is going to come. The dam name is called as Dodan Dam. Dodan Dam. Because of this particular area is home to indigenous tribal communities like Gonds, Kol and Saharia tribal communities. So these three tribal communities are getting displaced because of the Ken-Betwa Tiger Reserve. Nearly 20,000 tribal communities are getting displaced. But according to the National Tribal Policy Draft of 2008, if any project is displacing 10,000 tribals and more, that particular project should not go forward. But this particular project is displacing nearly 20,000 people, hence it is in the news. So the best example, because of development or because of interlinking of rivers, if the displacement is happening, this is the best example which you have to write. And the Iravathe Karve on the race, this is also very much in the news. Exclusively about Iravathe Karve was been mentioned in the Anthropological London School of Anthropology magazine, so hence it is in the news. Iravathe Karve, who is this Iravathe Karve? This lady is very famous, called as Iravathe Karve of 1931 of Pune, whereby she was so aggressive, so feminist, asking for her rights, aggression for her rights, all demanding for affirmative actions for women, demanding for social justice, equality. So hence Iravathe Karve is in the news. Why she is in the news? See, what happened is she went to do her post-doctorate in Germany, whereby her mentor was Fisher, and the Fisher had gave a duty to her. So he told that there is a link of physical features with the race, and mainly the Germans are having unique physical features whereby the right side of the skull is enlarged, because of which they are civilized and intelligent. So this was been studied by Iravathe Karve, and she concluded, she know that her mentor is going to get angry, but still she had came forward and told that the increase in skull is an individual aspect but not the community aspect. Hence it is wrong thinking that the skull feature is responsible for intelligence or civilization is wrong. Hence the idea of racism itself is a myth. She had advocated, not only advocated, rejected the claim which was being made by her mentor called as Fisher. Hence it is in the news. So, race mixing, better development of right side of the brain and thus of intelligence and civilization, and this was a skull which was been studied by her, and this is whereby there is an increase in the size of the skull, which is a unique feature of Germans which was been claimed by Fisher. But this Indian anthropologist, female Indian anthropologist, very famous, and this female anthropologist told in Germany in front of the mentor that your claim is wrong. The female anthropologist Iravathe Karve is way forward than the time. She was the only lady who had went to her college on the Luna. So much aggressive she is. She is also a feminist. She also studied on kinship systems. She studied on village studies. She did on caste exclusive. Her studies are more on races. Hence it is in the news. Next, the controversy over the Great Nicobar Island Development Project. Great Nicobar Island Development Project, again it is in the news. So this particular project is going to develop. Under this project, there is a huge developmental activities are happening in the Great Nicobar project. Four major things are coming up under this Great Nicobar project. Number one, International Transshipment Port. International Transshipment Port is going to come. So a big harbour is going to be established under the name called as International Transshipment Port. Next is Greenfield Airport. Altogether a new airport is going to be established. One is a very big harbour by the name called as International Transshipment Port. Second is a Greenfield. Altogether a new airport is going to be established under this Great Nicobar project. Integrated township for the people to have the houses and defence infrastructure in order to have the command over the India-Pacific route. on the Indo-Pacific route. These are the 4 things which are going to come up in this particular project in the Great Nicobar, because of which the 2 indigenous tribal communities are facing the problem. One is Nicobarese tribal communities, second is Shompen tribal communities are facing problem because of this Great Nicobar project, hence it is in the news. So the local people, the indigenous people, the NGOs are rejecting the Great Nicobar project, opposition also. So there is a huge impact. Forest Rights Act and recent amendment. What is the Forest Rights Act? We know that scheduled tribes and other traditional forest dwellers, recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006 mainly talks about 4 things. Number 1, recognition of rights. They will be the owners of minor forest produce. They will be having the land rights. They will be having the community rights on the grazing grounds, and they will be having the right to protect the forest and the environment. Hence, these are the 4 things which are being provided under this particular legislation. And the eligibility criteria is before 13 December 2005, if they are living there, then they will be getting maximum 4 hectares of land under Forest Rights Act. So, there is a Grama Sabha who will be endorsing that yes, this family is living in this forest area, hence they will be having the rights on the forest land. There will be Forest Rights Committee by the Grama Sabha to prepare claims to be forwarded to the subdivisional level committee. There will be state level committees as well as district level committees responsible for verifying and approving the claims. So, there is recent amendments. One is Indian Forest Act 1927 is getting amended in the year 2019. According to this, increase the powers of forest officials, including the use of firearms to prevent forest related offences. For the first time, the forest officers are getting arms under this particular amendment act, which is called as Indian Forest Act 1927, amended in the year 2019. The definition of forest also will include private forest, potentially increasing state control over the forest reserves. The government to bypass the Grama Sabha in certain cases for afforestation projects. These are 3 things. Number 1, the forest officials are going to have the firearms. They are going to get the firearms. Number 1. Number 2, bypassing of the Grama Sabha. Number 3, the forest definition is going to be widespread. In this forest definitions, now we are going to add private forests also. Hence, these are the amendments which are being made to the Indian Forest Act 1927. Supreme Court order on eviction. This is another important point. In 2019, Supreme Court very clearly told that. So, the law was been made in 2006, in 2019 till the tribal peoples without any claim, without any rights, they are staying in the forest area. So, it's already too late. Now, you have to evict them. A unilateral decision was been given by the Supreme Court to remove all the tribals who are been living in the forest area without the pattas. So, this decision was been criticized like a hegemony, the unrule way of evicting the tribals who doesn't have the knowledge or awareness to how to get the land rights. Rather than providing the good Samaritans, the Supreme Court had ordered like a top-down approach and gave an order to remove the tribal people. Hence, this particular judgment was been subjected to a lot of criticism. Sometimes the Supreme Court also will not work properly, as we know that in Porsche accident, the judge, one of the judge told to write an essay. Similarly, this judgment was also criticized that in spite of being compassionate, empathetic, sympathetic with the tribal people, this particular judgment was been unruly with the tribal people. Supreme Court orders on eviction. Forest conservation rules are being made. In that, the dilution of Grama Sabha role, now the Grama Sabha role, if they want to divert the forest land to non-forest purpose by the government, there is no requirement of approval of Grama Sabha. Speeding up the development, mainly for the development projects, they will be speeding up so that no one can stop the development projects. In this way, Forest Conservation Rules 2022 was being changed. Proposal to amend the Forest Rights Act to simplifying the process of claiming rights and addressing the implementation challenges. So there was a concern that simplifying the claiming rights, but by making so, it will give an opportunity to non-tribals, it will give an opportunity to outsiders to claim the forest area also. That is one problem if they are going to amend this particular Forest Rights Act of 2006. Impact: potential erosion of community rights, increased centralization of forest governance, threat to livelihood and cultural heritage, increased tension and conflict. There is a higher chance of the discontent tribal people might join the left-wing extremism. Hence, these are the things which are in the news with respect to anthropology, which we have to use in our answers. Mining in Chhattisgarh. Hasdeo Arand forest is a very deep forest in Chhattisgarh area, and more mining permissions were being given in this particular forest area called as Hasdio Arand. So the Chhattisgarh government, in collaboration with private corporations, pushed forward with the expansion of coal mining. Despite strong opposition from local communities and environmental groups, the government justified the expansion by citing energy resources. Controversy over implementation of PESA Act. The PESA Act is been not seriously implemented in Jharkhand, hence it is in the news. Land acquisition and resource management. So the Grama Sabha powers were being diluted. Without the permission of the Grama Sabha, no action can be taken in tribal villages. But in Jharkhand, what they did, they diluted it, and the Grama Sabha powers were being diluted so that the government can take up the forest areas in these forest villages. Yes, hence this is in the news. Autonomy of Grama Sabha is being compromised through amendment or by diluting the PESA Act in Jharkhand. So these are all the things which are mainly in the news with respect to current affairs of anthropology as examples you have to use in your examination. Other than that, the Neanderthal gene as well as the Denisovan gene, the both were being present, was been available in Tibet, and there is also claim that the Denisovan as well as the Neanderthal fused together. There is a mating between the Denisovans as well as Neanderthal. From this examples we can use in your answers and get more marks or extra marks in your mains examination. Thank you.